Okay, so after 1989, we, as you had to create new structures for the new economics and new political system in Poland, which means also new institutions and new image of these institutions, new buildings, and how Poles see themselves and see it in architecture. So it all started in 80s, and as church was always one of the most important institutions in Polish politics, it's also visible in the built space. Here you have the example of the seminary in Krakow, built by the architect Dariusz Kozłowski, which plays with the aesthetics of ruins, with the scale of city quarter, and fading into nature, which is exceptional case. Normally, and in our imagination, this is how should church looks like in Poland, of the freed religion and freed society. So it's basilica in Licheń, in the middle of Poland, in the middle of nowhere. At the same time, it has as many windows as the days in the year, as many steps as the Jesus Christ lived years. So it also should remind the waving grasses. But here we have good examples of the church built by the community, which architect Stanisław Niemczyk did not make any money on it, and it's built by the 9 retired people. So it's quite unusual. But even if project is good, sometimes it might be not understood in rather traditional society. So here we have the project from 1999 from Marek Budzyński, and this temple of in Warsaw, the decision to make it was done in 1792, but clergy told us that it's too resembling the Egyptian pyramid and Slavic mounds, so they replaced it with so-called lemon squeezer, which dominates the landscape of the district. But not only church has its palaces. Here you have the ZUS, Social Insurance Institution, which is well known for its headquarters built everywhere in Poland after '89, and it's always like this: the shiny glasses, light green, and reflective everything. Here you have the headquarters of it, which is made on the plan of eagle with the with gated everything with the 2-level parking, which separates it very well from the city and it fits very well to the inaccessible image of this institution. Here you have the Supreme Court, which you might know from the protest from this summer. It's one of the best examples. In fact, it's made also by Marek Budzyński, and here you have credits which are personifications of the faith, hope, and love. And on the columns you have the quotes from Roman law in Polish and Latin. And this building is usually appreciated by the public, but there are some controversies. For example, over this reflexive glass which block the eye contact with the publicity, and also this bridge which is kind of fortress-like. You have this green belt around the building which separates it from the public. Here there is a University of Economics in Krakow, which plays with tubes with cubic forms, and also the brick and glass. The blue glass is, I think, in Polish postmodernist architecture, which is most embodied in this Millennium or Reform Plaza, which we call Toy by the brand of the portable toilets, but also by the architect and first owner of this building, Vahap Toy, the Turkish architect. And yes, here this case is quite controversial because owner of this Solpo shopping mall wanted to demolish it and build a new one. But the local NGOs wanted to list it as a monument because of being one of the first very postmodern buildings in the city. But despite the lack of protection, it's still there because the investment is postponed. But another investment in the city centers is also rebuilding the cities after the destruction of World War II. Sometimes it's usual 90s kitsch, sometimes it's 80s and plays with the forms of old with modern form. But here you have the very last big estate from the People's Republic of Poland. It's Centrum E in Nowa Huta, district of Krakow, ideal socialist city. So it also reflects the urban layout of the district, but the form is quite unusual for it. Light blue and light pink. It's also they used dyed from the children paints because of shortage of materials. So after a few years, it's just faded. But this is the most usual landscape around the Polish cities. After years of living in concrete blocks and similar cube houses, Poles could fulfill their dream of living in individualized housing, and this is how it ended up. At Villa Campina near Warsaw, you have along the main street, every single house is built in a different architectural typology, so you can go and choose which style you want your own home. Toscan villa, modernist cube, or Texan rancho. So yeah, I try to show our landscape and just wonder where is it going with our new wave of transformation.